What's up, all you nerds and turds? It's me, it's Steve, it's Matt, it's Andy, and this is indieRIFT Podcast. We are back. We had a little hiatus for Father's Day, but we're recording a few days later. But we're back here with all your indie news, reviews, previews, and all that fun stuff. Right smack at the tail end here. We were in the middle of Next Fest, and now we're kind of at the tail end, and we have a lot to talk about. Gentlemen, how are we doing this week?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of indie games. I get
I've
it.
just had enough of this shit, man.
I get it. You're good.
Yeah.
It's like enough already.
There's so many, like, it came to the point where if I thought you or Matt would like a game, I didn't play the demo. I was like, fuck it. There's
too much
no
shit.
point. Yeah, I gotta play something that is not an Andy or a Matt game so I could talk about something unique. And there was plenty of options. It was really a really good like last 3 weeks for indie gaming. Like,
yeah,
solid.
Yeah, and Next Fest, I feel like this Next Fest was particularly packed with like really, really, really great titles that are coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, you know, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but like what saddens me is, I'm gonna give you a little anecdote. So, you know, I play hockey, and recently, I don't know if I talked about this on the show, but recently a couple of the players actually, our shit came on their TikTok and their YouTube and like whatever they use, Instagram, whatever it was. And they're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I do a podcast about indie gaming. And they're like, oh, you know, what are indie games? And I was like, okay, well, what's the most popular one? And I mentioned Hades too. I was like, that's, you know, kind of like that. Like, oh, you know, cool. Not one of them knew anything was happening with indie gaming these last 3 weeks. Not a single one has any clue anything cool was happening. Any new games were shown, no announcements, nothing. They
Are these like people though? Are these people though who have like? Are they like gaming people?
They're gamers that play their particular games, which I understand. Yeah. They're in their ecosystems, and I'm not like, you know, like mad at them for not knowing. It's just goes to show how hard it is for indie games to get the like mainstream attention and like mainstream follow. It's like only the hardest core of the hardcore gamers that are browsing Steam every day, or like, you know what itch.io is, or, you know, go to these trade, like when we go to PAX, right? A lot of people go for the big booths, and then they'll just walk around the, you know, the PAX Rising or whatever for a little bit and like find a couple of games. But a lot of them go there just to play the new Final Fantasy 14 expansion or whatever, the, you know, it's
and
bizarre.
Get their like special mount or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Get their or get their bucket hat.
Yeah,
looking at you, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
But we do have a ton to talk about today. But before we do, we want to tell you that you have a new way to be part of the show. So you can be part of our super secret Discord by going to patreon.com/indieRIFT, just like Colton the Apprentice Nestler. We do appreciate all of your support. That gets you into our Discord. And now our Discord is going to be the way to write into the show. And we have tons of mailbag today. So this is going to be a chock full of good news, reviews, previews, and questions. It's going to be a lot of fun, but for as little as $1, you get bonus episodes, you get bonus content, get to hang out with us in Discord, and now you get to be part of the show. So please head over to patreon.com/indieRIFT. All right, so why don't we just jump right in? Speaking of indieRIFT, we do have our website, indieRIFT.com, as we had mentioned, and there is a lot going on that website, all thanks to Andy Asimakis. What's going on over there on indieRIFT.com, Andy?
I wrote a bunch of shit. Is what's going on the website.
All right.
I played way too many games over the last week, and some of them lit a fire in my butt.
Okay.
And I just had to write some nice things to give them a little bit of extra coverage, because, like Matt was saying, some of these games this year blew me away.
Yeah.
Like the quality level is beyond what I expected. You know, there's always great games at these things. But man, it's a good year. So I have 4 articles on the site for 4 games, which we'll get into later when we discuss our favorites of the Next Fest. But quick preview. I have previews or demo reviews for Bloodless, CATO, Doggy Don't Care, and Massacre at the Mirage.
Nice. Awesome. And also, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but you did break news.
I broke
You
news,
broke
and there's
news.
a fun story how I broke the news.
Interesting.
It was
Interesting.
unexpected news breakage happened.
I wonder if we should just go into that to start the
could.
show. What do you think?
We could.
Yeah, let's
Dive right in, guys.
Yeah, dive right in, man. First bit of news to talk about is broken by Andy Asimakis of indieRIFT.com. Andy Asimakis of indieRIFT.com. Tell us what news have you broken?
I was getting the dog ready to go for his nightly excursion while I was listening to Reba in the background. Which, by the way, Reba, you guys, the number 6 most watched show on Netflix. So fuck you.
Yeah.
You were wait, hold on. Can we just really quick? I just need to clarify. Were you walking your dog, listening to an episode of Reba
I
on
was
Netflix?
putting his harness on while I was watching Reba in the background.
Okay. All right.
While working on stuff for the website.
Were you gonna go paragliding? Why does your dog need a harness?
It's a leash. It's a harness, and the leash goes in the back.
Oh,
yeah.
Whatever happened to just going around the neck?
Dog collar. Yeah.
That's how you fucking choke a dog that wants to get away from you. If the dog sees a leaf or a bird, he will dart and he will choke.
Okay.
And he will not care.
So either two things are happening. Either your dog is trying to get away from you, or your dog is
he's a dog. He's a dog.
He's a dog. He anyway, continue.
All right. So while that was going on,
Cujo's a sweetheart.
He's the best. While that was going on, I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw there was a they called X Spaces that look like it's like a live chat thing.
Yeah.
You can do.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one that Way Forward was doing to celebrate the Clock Tower Rewind release, which I think it's very, very soon. And they're talking about the game and how much they love it and what they're doing for this new iteration, what the changes, the new fancy $1 million limited edition that they're working on, which I bought because I'm a sucker. So as they were doing this, they teased something at the very, very end of the conversation. And I was like, this is breaking news. So they said that they're working on 2 unannounced horror games based on existing IP. And when we see them, when they reveal it, we are going to be, quote unquote, very excited. Here's the full quote from the show. In
really
addition,
thought you were gonna say something there.
Very excited. I thought there were gonna be like hints to what the games are.
No clue. In addition to Clock Tower Rewind, Way Forward has been developing 2 more completely separate from Clock Tower original horror games that I think people are going to get very excited when they see the IP they are based on.
Yeah.
It's not revealed yet. It should hopefully be revealed really soon. So sometime this year they're going to announce this. So I did a quick Googly search while I was walking the dog and listened to this. Didn't find any news about this because they said they may have mentioned it in an interview, but they weren't sure. So I verified that, found Diddly Squat, went on Twitter, made a thing, and I was like, well, this is like a chance for some traffic to the site. So I made a quick post, threw it up, and now when you say we do news reviews and previews, now we're not liars anymore because we do news now.
You'll love
Andy's really breaking it here, guys. It's going to be very exciting.
Very.
The most exciting, you would think. That's awesome, and hopefully
but I wonder what games, like what's the IP?
Yeah.
Or what if it's not games?
Right. Because what
if
that
what if it's not game IP?
They didn't say if it was like
a
horror gaming IP or like a film or a movie or a book.
What we really need? We need a good asynchronous multiplayer horror game.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. That's exactly it. We need something that's not that 6v1 or whatever style shit. Like that could work, obviously. I mean, of course it could work, but I would really like a game where you are trying to survive that. Like just
a dream invading,
super story driven Resident Evil style, but
you could do that, like, look at Alien Isolation.
Mhm.
Have that template for
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street. You
Yeah.
can't kill Freddy in the dream world.
Yeah.
You can only like sort of outrun him or hide from him
Right.
or like distract him.
Yeah.
So that kind of format would be great for that world.
Thunder. Can we also just pour one out for Donald Sutherland?
Yeah.
Who passed away today of a long illness, which probably means cancer, which is just awful. And today I learned that his son is Kiefer Sutherland.
That's not real.
That's
not real.
No idea.
That isn't real. You're full of shit. I don't
There's
believe you.
no way, dude.
There's no way.
Look, if you look at their faces,
he has his face.
If you superimpose their faces on top of each other, they're the same person.
Never in my wildest dreams have I ever had a Kiefer Sutherland and Donald Sutherland pictures up.
How would you like not even?
No clue.
Make a connection like, oh, I wonder if that's his son.
Nope. Never. never came across my mind. Anyway, we have a lot more to talk about. But yes, we did break some news, which is awesome. Christ. You'll love to see it. Let's jump into
breaking news. Steven's a moron who doesn't know people's faces.
First of all, I didn't watch 24, so I mean that could be part of it. But regardless, let's move on because we're gonna get into the indie game adventures now. I think I'm the only one that actually played like a released game over the last couple of weeks. So, but I want to go back to.
I have thoughts after. I have one when you're done.
One when I'm done. Okay. I want to go quickly back to Blockbuster Inc. because I've been playing a lot more of it, and I have a lot. I don't necessarily have a lot more to say, but I have some clarifications and some good news. Good news is it is very easy to see the movies that you created. You could see the scenes. You could play them. Directing the scenes is a lot of fun, actually. You could move them around and have them do like different poses. It's not as in depth as the movies was, where you could like do voiceover work for them or like whatever, stuff like that. I'm a little disappointed in the set design because right now, for example, if you wanted to do, they're all indoor scenes, right? They're all like whatever. So if you are doing pirate movies, the set you can make are a small ship interior, medium ship interior, and a large ship interior, and then you could decorate it with like, a captain's chair and treasure and blah blah blah. But there's no exterior shots, so like I wanted to do like a beach scene, for example, and there's none of that. Like there's no way to do anything really outside. The sports movie set is just a boxing gym. Like you put like weights and like a little boxing ring, so you can make like Rocky. I don't know if more of those sets unlock as you get like deeper into the years, because the sets do look kind of raggedy and like old school. But the years actually go by pretty slowly. I'm like maybe 4 years into my studio history, which is I feel like I would have been 50 years in on the movies, but I'm enjoying like the actual management of the talent is really cool. And what they do is like, there's these random happenstances. Like there was a production assistant that not accidentally knocked over a camera and is like, what do we do? And your options are like to force them to pay for the repairs themselves, wait and buy a new whatever it was. And like one of them was the one that I chose was get a repairman out right away and the studio will fit the bill. And I did that, and it was like a huge morale booster. The person was really grateful, and like her production speed went up, and like her all this stuff. And it's like having those little scenes come in, much like a Sim City or something, like natural disasters or whatever, and like how you respond to them affects everything from the movie there. Oh, and the movie got a 15-point boost in its scene, in that scene's rating too, because the morale was better, the equipment was better, like all that stuff. There are a few esoteric things that I kind of picked up on that I wish was a little clearer, and I gave up like 3 hours into the tutorial, so I imagine like at some point the tutorial might have gone over this, but there's ways to add cameras, lights, microphones, and all that stuff to the sets themselves so that it gives you more options when you want to direct the scenes. So like you could put 2 cameras and they could be camera A, camera B, and then you could like mess with them in the director, like zoom in, zoom out, pan, whatever. Then there's different lights, so the lighting quality would be different. And it all costs money, obviously. I am making so much stupid money. I have more money than I could possibly spend. And I think the only way to like make it worth it is if I just continue to hire scientists, researchers, so that I could get better tech, so that I can unlock new genres and like whatever, just so I can make more films. Because right now I'm like, I can make 4 films at a time with the staff that I have, and just rinse and repeat.
You're just kind of making money over hand over fist.
Just hand over fist. Yeah. So I think the game has some balancing issues. Speaking of, there was some news about the game that came from the developers, Ancient Forge and Super Sly Fox. This went on their Twitter page. Hello, movie makers. Thank you for your valuable feedback you've provided the last few days. Rest assured, we are dedicated to improving your experience with Blockbuster Inc. by developing hotfixes approximately twice a week, which they have been. Almost a week after the release and 2 hotfix patches later, blah, blah, blah. We understand that some of you are frustrated with some of the mid-game balance issues and overall management aspect of the game that in the long run proved to be trickier than we had initially thought. While we managed to deliver on the scope of the game that together with the publisher we had planned, we see that there are still things left to do before we can move on with our initial post-launch plans. In hindsight, it seems clear now that we had underestimated the time we would need to balance all our game features and fix performance issues during the final sprint. Naturally, we remained optimistic about the release, as we knew that many great content updates were planned for Blockbuster Inc. right after its launch, but in retrospect, it is very clear and reasonable that most people were skeptical about our commitment to improving the game post-release and raising concern that if that was our initial intention, we should have launched the game as early access. Initially, we planned to show you our roadmap for the upcoming months shortly after release, but currently we are reevaluating it to make sure all changes and new features meet your expectations. Ostensibly, they're going to continue to patch the game to make the complaints less. It seems like they have some regret not going into early access so that this could be a more fluid experience. And they're delaying their content map, which it is fine as long as they keep improving the core game mechanic and getting that as perfect as it needs to be, or as close to perfect as it could be. I think this game could be in good shape. But I wanted to touch base on that because they are very aware of the issues that even I had mentioned last week and the week before. And apparently they're aware of the issues that I had recently.
Cool. Thank you for the update, man. It's good to know that. Good to know that. Indie devs are probably most notable for their listening to feedback and their reception to that kind of feedback. So it's good that these guys are following suit.
Yeah, and I'm glad that this isn't a, take your money and run situation, which a lot of games that need those updates can just fall apart, where it's just like they just don't have the time or the money. Yeah. So I'm glad for that. Any thoughts, Andy?
Again, I tried to play this. I don't have the patience.
It's not your jam. It's fine.
It's really not. I mean, I may at some point, because to me, it's you have to be at the computer to play. And It's a keyboard mouse situation.
Yeah.
Like I put it on the Steam Deck and I was like, this is not
it doesn't
built
play.
at all for the Steam Deck.
That's not a Steam Deck game at all. Yeah.
Not at all. So we'll see. I may wait until they give it some more updates and I'll give it a go. But at this point, I'm gonna wait it out. It all sounds good though,
Continuing on our indie news report, aside from the breaking news.
Well, just really quick, I want to give my thoughts. I have played Rotwood over.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Week and a half, and I had put that in the show notes, but it disappeared.
Yeah, where'd that go?
I don't know. That's okay. But so I really, really enjoy this game. I've been playing the hell out of it. The animation is second to none. I love the hand-drawn aesthetic. The gameplay loop is awesome. Like I agree with almost everything that you said last week. So I'm not gonna super hop on the love it train, and I'm gonna kind of talk about some of my issues with the game.
Sure.
And they're minimal. I really think that the single player experience, I know it's supposed to be a multiplayer game, but the single player experience is extremely grindy.
Yes. Yes.
You know, like there are a handful of levels in the early access version right now. And to even take on the second level of just a handful of levels, you need to grind out gear in just the first level in its different difficulty settings a little bit. And then to get through that second biome, you need to grind even more. I don't mind grinding. I think it's okay. But the issue is that the amount of material that drops per run is so low that your progress is like minuscule compared to
exponential, but the opposite of exponential.
Yeah,
it's diminishing returns almost.
Yeah, and so you're like going through the same level over and over and over again. And I mean, the good part about that is that the combat is extremely fun and engaging. The power-ups that you get on the runs and you know, the weapon combos and stuff. I chose the spear as my main.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
it. It's like my favorite weapon. I think if I'm being honest, I think that the other weapons are kind of not good. Like the hammer maybe is pretty good.
Hammer's number 2 for me, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that the bazooka or the like bouncing balls are particularly good, but again, I've only played this single player, so it's hard to understand how those things will interact with each other in a multiplayer setting. We should definitely try to set something up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that some balancing and maybe a couple extra combos at the forefront would be really good, because a lot of that stuff is hidden, and you kind of have to just find it by playing. And then maybe just upticking just a little bit the material gain would really help in making this feel a lot better. Again, I played the hell out of it. Like I did the grind, and I loved every second of it. It was awesome. But I just wish progress happened a little bit faster.
Yeah, you just kind of hit the wall where you're like, the one more run doesn't have a big enough reward right now.
Yeah.
For me to like really want to do it. I'd rather fail at the new level than go back and continue to grind this old one. And what they do is, Andy, they the difficulty spikes as you do the level again, like the whatever.
There's it's called frenzy levels.
Right, frenzy levels. And it'll double the bosses. So you'll have to fight 2 of the bosses or like multiple of the bosses instead of just the one, and blah blah blah. And then you get more rare components to craft and upgrade armor sets and weapons and all that stuff. And the issue is that you really getting the rarer, or like, let's say there's level 1, 2, and 3 components, right? You basically get level 1 components almost exclusively in the first runs of every level. Sometimes you'll drop a level 2. Sometimes. Then when you do the frenzy difficulty, you'll still get those level 1 components, but you'll get those level 2 components a little bit more frequently, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a
level 3.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like,
okay,
I'm not getting enough, and you could go entire runs without getting, unless you specifically choose it, I guess. If the RNG gods are in your favor, you may not get a level that gives you a dump of materials. You may have to wait till you actually like beat the boss or whatever to get some material drops. So I do one thing just to piggyback though, just to like compliment sandwich it. The choices that you make throughout your runs feel really, really good. When you're doing really well, and there's a guy that like refills your potion, so you get 1 potion at a time that can refill your health and such, and choosing to go there or maintaining your health enough to not have to go there can like completely change how your run unfolds. And then upgrading your powers as you get them is awesome, and choosing your synergies and all that, it works very, very well. I'd love to see some more interesting, unique powers put in there, which I assume they're gonna do. But yeah, it's really fun. To go on that is like the thing that I think they balance really well is the amount of I call it run currency. I forget what they actually call it, but or the purple goop or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
Terra.
Like, Terra, all right. That's like your run currency. So you get that, and you can spend it or hoard it, but you could find a lot of places to spend that during your run to upgrade abilities and power ups.
Yeah.
Which I think is brilliant because it does make each run fun. Even if you're not getting those big rewards that you want to bring back at the end of your run, you're still augmenting your run enough where it's fun.
I also there's the one power that especially at like mid-range frenzy levels is really fun, where you get extra. I think it's Tephra actually is the name of the currency.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you get extra Tephra based on your highest hit count combo. And just like going fucking ham with the spear dive, like the twisty spear dive that the spear has, and just racking up like 80 to 100 point combos and just getting like 100 Tephra per room. Yeah. You're just fucking swimming in that shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, it makes the runs a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Andy, you should be playing that game.
Yep.
Oh, I will.
Okay, so back to the indie news report. We have a couple of things to talk about. Man, this is gonna be a long episode. I can feel it.
It's a giant size episode.
It's so
guys.
big. It's so
mega
huge.
size anniversary issue.
First thing to report is friend of the show, friend of indieRIFT, Zoroarts, is they made Maki's
Maki
or Makis. I forget how to actually pronounce
Maki's
it.
Adventure.
Maki's Adventure.
Yep, Maki's Adventure. Is making a indie mascot kart racer. And this all happened
brilliant.
So abruptly.
Yeah, like this started showing up on his Twitter like maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And in the
That's
time,
how long it's been.
Yeah, and like in that time it has just exploded. Like there's so many awesome characters, and it looks like pretty damn good already.
All he did was make a simple drifting cart with his Mackey's character in the cart.
Like a shark boy.
And was like, what if I made a kart racer? And like thousands upon thousands of people, and then all of a sudden he's got aggro crab in the game, and supposedly has over 20 indie characters now signed up to be in this game. It's gonna be a thing. He's gonna make his yacht, and it all happened because he made a tweet saying, look at this cool drifting mechanic. Maybe I'll make a kart racer. So congratulations, Zoroarts. I wish you nothing but the best, and I cannot wait to play, because what kart racer fans can do with the kart racer genre is going to be phenomenal.
This is such a genius thing, because like you're tying your game to some very successful indie games.
Yeah.
Like he has, again, you said, aggro crab. He has Constance.
Yeah, Constance is one of the characters.
Yep.
It's crazy. He has Paper Clay, another fun friend of the show. Kevin Anderson is on there.
Oh, yeah.
Frog Gun. He's got some like really good ones in here. And you're gonna have these people also pimping your game when it's out.
It's
brilliant.
We knew this kid was smart. Like when we had the interview, I think, did you do that by yourself, that interview?
No, he did a interview spot for us for our showcase.
Right. Yes. We knew he was brilliant. Just
because he was like 17 and like, I'm making this little platformer shark game, and we're like, you're in. We love it.
Yeah. No, he just a brilliant dude, and cannot wait. Just super excited for everything that Zoroarts is going to come up with here. I'm going to start with the second one last. We got a bit of sad news here from Galvanic Games. Galvanic Games is closing. The developers of Wizard with a Gun, they posted on their Twitter. They did the sad, graphic
the sad
post.
template.
Sad template.
Black background.
There's the delay template, which is like black text, color background, and then there's like the we're sad and
template.
We're all sad because Wizard with a Gun had a lot of potential, and just because things don't hit the first time shouldn't mean that you have to close your doors. And unfortunately, that is what has happened. we wish them the very best and hope that the team lands on their feet, the team members land on their feet and go and make beautiful things.
Yeah, it really stinks because I dug into that game a little bit while we were kind of between shows, like, between Indies Nuts and indieRIFT, and it is really, really fun. And it sucks that it never got its legs under it. It never got a community behind it because I think they had something really cool there, and it stinks to see a studio with such a unique IP kind of get drowned out for one reason or another,
And with Devolver backing you too, it's like that's a pretty like heavy arsenal in your corner to like market and promote your game, because that's good curation you get from Devolver.
Getting that stamp is huge.
I can't really think of another. Nothing immediately comes to mind from Devolver that just like almost immediately. I mean, this hasn't been out that long. It's less than a year. It
hasn't,
right? That sucks. So I mean, it's just a rare.
I don't know,
Devolver miss.
My inclination is that this didn't really. I mean, I feel like it's obvious that it didn't really have anything to do with Devolver. Like Devolver didn't own them or whatever, but it was probably. They had internal expectations. They didn't hit them, and they just can't sustain themselves based on.
It's what it sounds like.
What they planned, whatever they planned, they had to hit a goal and they didn't hit it. I don't know what kind of, these games that have a life after studio closures. I don't know what that could do. Because who knows? Maybe all of a sudden, it finds an audience and it goes banana. You never know. These things happen.
It might now.
Among Us, Among Us was all but dead, and then COVID happened, and it was like the biggest thing ever.
It just blew up. Yeah.
Speaking of blowing up, Yacht Club Games had some announcements.
Friends of the show.
Friends of the show, Yacht Club Games. Yeah. Yes.
I'm out of my mind right now about everything that they announced.
Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX, an enhanced edition of the adventure that started it all. This comes directly from their Twitter, by the way. Embark on a quest to save Shield Knight, defeat the evil enchantress, and bring down the Order of No Quarter. But that's not all. There's a ton of new features, including online multiplayer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Skibbity boop boop. And you can pick your champion from a lineup of 20 iconic characters, each with unique play styles. 300 classic gameplay twists. Gameplay twisting cheats. Customize your experience to make it as challenging or as weird as you like. That's a blast. The definitive edition of the game that started it all. So please look forward to that. And then they teased that there's a brand new Shovel Knight game in development, and that we can get teases of this or hints of what this game would be in Shovel Knight Dig, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, and Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. So if you play those games, you might be able to uncover some of the secrets of the Shovel Knight. Did any of you go secret hunting?
I haven't yet, but I intend to.
Yet. That accent sold me on wanting
I might
hunting.
You're welcome.
I know I kind of had a hard time with Shovel Knight Dig because I wanted it to be one thing when it came out, and it was very good, but it wasn't the Shovel Knight roguelike that I wanted it to be. But they have added, so along with these announcements, there was a couple other announcements.
Those are the two that I picked out.
So like the other ones were just content updates for Pocket Dungeon and Shovel Knight Dig, and they're adding some cool like alternate paths to Shovel Knight Dig, and then some new characters and new biomes to Pocket Dungeon. Both of which are very, very fun games. And so I might not go secret hunting because I am very dumb, but I think I will return to those games a little bit and see how they
I just want Minna to come out already. That's all I care about.
It looks so good every time I see it.
Like I love Shovel Knight, but I'm ready for Minna.
Will we have Minna in every other indie game? Is that? Do you think
probably
we're gonna get the Shovel Knight?
We're gonna get like a whole like Minna like subset of games gonna come out once that hits.
Will Shovel Knight be in Zoroarts Kart Racer?
That's a lofty. That's a loft
ultimate indie racing game, by the way.
That's a lofty goal, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shovel Knight.
You know what games that Shovel Knight's in?
I do. I'm just saying, like. Although another Crap's Treasure is pretty big right now.
Did you see that hentai collection on Switch? You know he's in there, right?
I just
Now
can you just
99.7% off right now.
hold on. Can we just the sentence was just so that we can like did you see that hentai collection on Switch?
Yeah.
Because he's in that.
And we learned about it from one of the folks at Yacht Club Games. Ain't that right, Steve?
That is correct.
It was Celia's tweet.
Yes.
I did not see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. $1.99 gets you a collection of hentai games on your Nintendo Switch. It is down from $69.99.
Jesus Christ.
On sale.
Of course it's $69.99.
$69.99 now $1.99. So have fun with your hentai games, Andy, and only Andy, and every
just Andy.
Just Andy.
It's just Andy.
Definitely not. Definitely
yeah,
not.
hentai golf is high on my list of games to play this evening.
Hentai golf.
You know what? That kind of sounds fun. I'm not gonna lie. Finally,
just so we're clear,
last
he's not in these hentai games.
Yeah, just a little thread that information came from a whatever.
Yeah.
Final bit of news to talk about in our indie news report is that a Twitter account or X account called at pirate underscore or PR pirate PR. They are you guessed it, a PR firm for games. Dear agents of big streamers, we appreciate the offers, really, but I feel like I need to give you some insights into the average indie game budgets and realities. Most of our clients will have a premium game selling at 10 to 30, whatever squiggly line that is. Euros, I guess. Yeah. Let's assume an average of 20 euros, of which Steam takes 30%. So they earn 14 euros per game sold if no publisher is involved. We often get pitched, quote, $20,000 for a 1 hour stream.
Fucking crazy.
But that would mean 1,400 people would need to buy the game after watching the stream just to break even. And I think even that is a little optimistic. The sad truth is they're not selling cars. Big price items only need to convince 1 to 2 people and you'd already have your money back. But that's not how it works with games. So saying cars, you just need 2 cars, whatever.
Yeah,
the budget needed for a single stream, that's usually the entire marketing budget indies have to work with for a single game. We work close to 2 months for our clients for a third of that budget. An entire PR firm works for a third of that budget for 2 straight months, not just 1 hour. We'll always forward every offer we get to the client and let them make the final call, but the math just doesn't math. And then there's a reply. My napkin math even forgot about taxes. Taxes paid on the streamer's price, taxes paid for each game sold, and taxes paid on income a dev would pay themselves. We are pirates, not mathematicians.
I want to know who's pitching $20,000 an hour.
I mean, big streamers, dude. Big streamers
yeah, but like
make crazy money, man.
Do that. I understand, like if it's the new Elden Ring DLC or the new Xbox, Game Pass vehicle or the new PlayStation first party or the new Nintendo thing. But who has that money?
Well, but that's what I think.
And the indie game scene.
That's what I think this is trying to get at, is that there's such a severe misunderstanding of
that's a disconnect.
How this level of the industry works, that the ask for 20K seems so reasonable on the opposite side because they assume how the indie scene works and that they assume that it works similarly to the AAA scene. Obviously, that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, Zoroarts doesn't have the money of a Ubisoft or, an EA. It just doesn't exist. And it is. That's a weird disconnect.
Yeah.
Like asking a studio of like 3 people to fork over $20,000 so you can get 1,000 streams or whatever. You know what I mean? Like 1,000 advertisements.
And a glaring part of that is saying that the PR firm, which is their job to basically advertise and all that for a game, they charge a third of that to work for months. So I think the disconnect is also that as as a streamer, you say, oh, they hired a PR firm, they have money. I could charge my whatever rate, but as a small streamer, like when I streamed regularly, I would get offers to play games. Like one of the biggest ones was what the hell, Raid Shadow Legends, right? Like they were hitting up every streamer they possibly could.
Of course, yeah.
But
they're
you didn't get paid unless people actually physically downloaded and played the game for a certain amount of time. And you would get paid like pennies. Like it was nothing. So it was a zero effort relationship, really. They would get free PR basically because they know that you're going to play the game. People are going to see it and maybe people will download it, but people will continue to know the name Raid Shadow Legends. I mean, I play it all the time now, and every once in a while I'll throw a couple bucks in there, and I know I'm stupid, but whatever. It's like a slot machine for me. It's fun. But it got the name out. Like that was their goal. Their goal wasn't to make money on the streams themselves. It was to just make that name a household name. They put commercials that had Ronda Rousey's in the game. There are streamers that are in the game, it's like weird. Actual characters in as characters in these games. They're like they had fully CG commercials with like the main characters of the game CG'd into real life. I don't know if you remember those, but like they're like at like a Warriors Anonymous meeting or whatever, like, and they were like high budget commercials, but that they're all their job is to just make Raid Shadow Legends a household name. And I think a lot of streamers think that everyone has that Raid Shadow Legends money where they just want to get the name out. No, they don't. They need sales. That's the only way they make money. People knowing that your game exists isn't always gonna be.
I think another interesting limb of this that is brought up by a comment that's right under that second comment that Pirate PR makes is like the small streaming community, like us, right? Like we're not huge names, like if you tell me you're going to give me a key for a game, I am fucking amped and I will do my best to play that game and promote it and whatnot for free. But the quote down here is pretty great. Meanwhile, small streamers, give me a key and I'll jump the Grand Canyon into Power Wheels to promote it. And it really does feel like that, you know what I mean? And that's the thing is we're in similar boats, right? We know what it takes to be a small streamer. We really dig into this indie side of the industry, and that knowledge doesn't float up. You know what I mean? There's no knowledge transfer to streamers who are, making however much money, millions of dollars a year. They have no concept of how the world works, never mind fucking how an indie studio operates.
And I'm browsing their clientele on the Pirate PR website. I mean, they got some good names here. They got Zukosis is on here, Trifox, Spilled, which is on our list this week of our Next Fest games we loved. But the bulk of these, I don't see them having like a $20K to spare for an hour stream.
Of course not.
No. Like most of these games I haven't even heard of before.
Yeah, no, it's just what it is. Nice little discussion there, but now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes, and we are 43 minutes into the show.
This is a nice show, guys.
This
rapid fire demo. Let's go.
Yeah, we're gonna. This is gonna be fun, but we have a lot to talk about. So,
all right, quick rapid fire.
So Steam Next Fest highlights. So this we're gonna do here is we're gonna talk about the demos we played or just the highlights that maybe we didn't get to them, but we're gonna play them, whatever. But just those games that made our eyes pop out of our head and go, we need to talk about this on the website, on the podcast. Fair?
Yes.
The ground rules have been set.
Yep. I didn't listen to any of them. I'm sorry.
Great.
Let's go.
Awesome. First on our list is Demonschool, which we have played before at PAX.
6 out of 10. We're doing scores, right?
5 out of 7. Let's go.
7 out of 5. Perfect score.
Demonschool. What did we think of the new?
Oh my god.
Everything. Andy.
This was the last game I played at PAX 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
1 year. I missed this one, so 1 year ago. talk about saving the best for last. This is like Persona on steroids, and there's fishing. You can fish in this game now. They revealed recently.
Thank goodness.
I played the demo a
Persona
little
on
bit,
steroids.
and I don't suck at it anymore. Like
Yay!
I did
Nice.
last
Yeah,
time.
dude.
Now that you understand what you like, the race against time in
I
every
read
battle.
the instructions.
Yeah. You weren't trying to catch a train home.
Correct.
Okay, come on, let's go. What do I need to do?
Yeah,
what do I need to do? Sax
oh,
game.
you
Cool. Let's go.
failed. Sucks for you. Folks, you should download the demo. You should wishlist this game because it's gonna be something special, to say the least. I'm excited for that one. I hope you are too. Next on our list is something I did not play. I don't know who added this, so we're gonna kick it over to you. Aloft.
Not me.
That wasn't me either.
Who the fuck put this on? Who the fuck put this on there?
I'm sorry, this wasn't me. I got confused. No, I'm sorry. I got confused.
Absolute madman.
I am so sorry. I wasn't.
This is how a horror movie starts.
Steve is an agent of chaos.
The picture that I had in my head of what this game was, whatever. Survival.
I don't know who played this. We're gonna kick it to you.
Survival craft them up, where the cities are in the sky and the biomes are in the sky, and you glide between them, and you're surviving, gathering materials. It looks really dope. I cannot wait to dive into this one. It was not on my list of to play for the show, but it will be on my. I will have notes next time. The show is going to have a little new format where we're going to talk specifically about demos. So yeah, Aloft is going to be dope. It's got the multiplayer demo out right now, so maybe we can all try that out.
It looks gorgeous, by the way.
It
This is
does.
one nice looking game.
I love gliding games. I have a fucking
You like to glide on? You like to glide, bro?
like
glider?
bro.
Next
The world's
on the
first
list
gliding
is
genre
another
game.
one of my games here.
Are you sure?
I'm positive because I played the shit out of this demo.
This game looks like a me game.
Yeah,
to the
This
core.
is a you game,
It is.
Matt.
It is.
Through
And
and
we're talking
through.
about Drill Core. Drill Core is what I'm going to be calling a Dome Keeper like, where
Accurate.
you're digging down and gathering resources and upgrading. But the premise of the game is what hooked me. So you're terraforming these planets. So, for example, the first planet is like a frozen wasteland, right? And what you're doing is you're basically nuking the core of these planets. But you have to get to the core first, and you need to upgrade your stuff first. So it's timed. You're mining. You're gathering materials. You're bringing those materials up. You're using those materials to upgrade your guns or your defenses, or to make more soldiers, to make more drillers or gatherers, or you could have drones and rockets and like all this crazy shit. And then when you get enough of the most rare resource, you could dig further down. When you dig 3 times down, you get to close enough where you can launch your core into the core, and you clear the level, and then you move on. You collect
That sounds
permanent.
very fun.
Yeah, you collect permanent resources that you can bring back and do permanent upgrades for your troops. One of them that I unlocked, for example, is the soldiers that you have that are there to protect the miners and all that stuff. They will shoot during alien invasions now, so they'll shoot up, whereas normally they'll just be running and trying to not get destroyed. The aliens that come down at the end of every day are trying to kill your core, so you're trying to build up your defenses to protect the core. Simple stuff, but I was super hooked on it. Like,
It looks really good.
I just wanted to keep playing and dive in another run, and that's what makes these games so great. So I am very excited I just want to play more of the demo, honestly. Like, I'm totally cool just playing the demo. What else we got? Her. Wait, why is this? I clicked the wrong one. Did I click the wrong one? I'm gonna
Wizard
go.
of Legend.
No, I want to go to Pinball Spire. Where did Pinball go? Pinball disappeared. So that was supposed to be there. So sorry, when I was formatting, I must have accidentally deleted it.
Pinball Spire is dope. It ended up, I think, on a list that Andy made. Pinball Spire is pinball Metroidvania in the coolest fucking sense I've ever played in my life.
Mhm.
I didn't know that we could mash these two things together.
Mhm.
It is incredible, like truly. So the demo at least is you're going through part of this castle, and you got to get to a boss, and you're firing certain things off, just like a pinball arcade, to open up the next level, and it does everything so well. Like one of the last parts that you get to, there are like these lanterns that you have to light. You've gotten like a fire power up, and the whole room is dark, and you like slot into different things and start firing yourself off, but you can't fucking see anything. And then you're like, oh right, I can light myself on fire. And so you light yourself on fire, and you're starting to see like where all the stupid twisties go, and you're like lighting up the fucking. It's fucking amazing. I don't even know how to describe it. Go fucking play it. Put the shit on your wish list. It's gonna be amazing.
Say it's like the most indie game that ever indied. It's like I'm making a Pinballvania.
It's so good.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't even know how to explain the gameplay of it because it's so fucking good.
Like, do you have to unlock like a power to unlock a part of the next board?
So that's the thing, right? So like you're going through the first initial room is very
backtrack on a pinball game, you know?
You can. It's crazy. You go down. There are different paths. It's so wild. It's fucking crazy, man. But so like that last boss, you pick up this fire power, like I said, and to get to him, you had to get this firepower, and each pinball board has like a locked part of it. And I assume this is just going to get more and more elaborate with the full game. And you have some kind of goal to accomplish on each screen that's pretty obvious. Like I never had a hard time picking up what I was supposed to do on a given screen. It's a very readable game. And when you accomplish that goal, the thing at the top, which is what it's been so far, I don't know if there's ones on the side or the bottom, opens up and you shoot your fucking pinball up, and now you're on the next board. And like I said, like you get this firepower up and you're using it to set things on fire initially, and then you shoot up and there's just this glowing red eye in the center of the screen, and everything else is black. You can see that in your ball, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then you start pulling the triggers, and a plunger comes in and fires you off, and you just like are fucking flinging around in the darkness like an idiot. And I just did that for like 2 minutes. I was like, what the fuck am I trying to do? And I was like, oh, the fucking fire power up. And then you start, it's crazy. And then you turn into a fucking ball of fire. It's amazing. So good.
It's stupid how much sense it makes.
Yeah. I can't wait for this full game.
I definitely need to play that.
Yeah.
I need to play that.
It's awesome.
Speaking of things I need to play, super hyped for Wizard of Legend 2. I know, Matt, you dove real deep into this.
If you liked the first one, you're gonna absolutely love this one. It kind of amps everything up to 11. We went from these really awesome pixelized graphics to this like Hades-esque style.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, they're like Hades-esque expose too, like with characters and stuff. You're given kind of more of a reason why you're going through these wizard trials and trying to become the Wizard of Legend. The powers are amazing. The combat is amazing. It is brutally difficult. Yeah. And the original was also very difficult, but like I had a hard time with the demo. Like I had a rough time. This game is a lot about timing. It is not a button masher. It looks like that. It looks like you're supposed to fucking run around and mash all the buttons, but it is very, very strategic. Yeah. Just about every second that you're playing it. And yeah, I can't wait to see the full suite of powers that you're going to unlock and what the different cloaks do and mix and match all the relics. It's just it's really, really awesome. And they've really knocked it out of the park here, and I can't wait to get my hands on the full version.
What I think the new graphic style does the best for this game is it enhances the Twitch gameplay of it. Because Definitely. Like I remember I played the first one on Switch, and you know, it had a lot of frame hiccups, and having those with imprecise pixels and like just that kind of jaggedy environments and stuff, it would kind of worked against it. This seems way more fluid and a true execution on the vision of what I think that game was.
Not only that, but on my Steam Deck, this ran at a buttery smooth 60 FPS. Gorgeous.
Love that.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely, positively
so
gorgeous. Speaking of positively gorgeous, oh my god. Can we please talk about Akimbot? Holy crap.
Jesus Christ.
You guys.
Holy crap.
This game is something special.
Was it not Steve that played it?
Yeah,
Steve played it. I played it too.
I'm sure.
I didn't play it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one.
This is I like, without seeing a full collection of like the weapons and the biomes, it would not shock me if this was as good and could be on the same shelf and conversation as Ratchet and Clank. Like,
It's such a wild thing to say.
It is fully voice acted. Cutscenes are awesome. The 3D platforming is like perfect. Like, everything feels if it came out 5 years from now that he reverse engineered a Ratchet and Clank game and stole their code and made a game, I would be like, oh, that makes sense, because it's so good, like stupidly good. I cannot express that enough. I am jealous of anyone that is a character in this game that got to voice the characters in this game. You fight a robot mobster in the demo. It's so
that I was going to ask, like,
good.
what does it do? Does it not take itself too seriously in
At
the
all.
same way?
No,
Awesome.
it's like buddy cop, like
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
comedy kind of vibe going on.
You have your
It's so good.
Your Clank or your Claptrap kind of companion that doesn't do anything but takes credit for everything. Your main character is like a robot mercenary on the run, and the whole demo is you just escaping this planet from the mob.
That's awesome.
That is constantly throwing silly insults at you, and like, and the main character, I forget its Exy, takes himself super seriously, like mercenary guy, and then there's his sidekick is like, come on, let's go, let's fight the thing, and it's just like, it's great. I cannot believe. I mean, I can believe that the Pumpkin Jack developer made this. Like, I could believe that totally, because Pumpkin Jack is also a game that should be up there with all the great 3D platformers. But this is just, I cannot believe this is coming out in the summer.
Can I just say, like, when I was playing this demo, the one thing I thought of was Pumpkin Jack walked so Akimbot could run.
Yeah.
This
Fucking
is-
hell yeah, dude.
I can see the DNA of Pumpkin Jack in this, but it's just the leap in the gameplay and the tech and the presentation and the polish.
It looks so.
Like, how did this
So good.
guy? This is also like solo dev territory as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. If you told me this was a PlayStation exclusive, I would believe you. Like, if
would
it was
too.
a PlayStation,
Just looking at it.
If someone was like, we found a lost game from the PS2 era, here it is.
Here it is, and we upscaled it to
Right.
make it look even better than stupid.
It's just torn from like the year 2000. Like
Yeah,
the writing and
Guys,
it's just so good.
It looks
folks,
so good.
play the damn game.
Play it. It's out so soon.
so
Holy
damn
shit.
soon. So damn
2
soon.
months.
The next game that I actually dove into was Spilled, which is developed by a solo developer that lives on a boat in Norway. I don't know why Norway is coming to my brain.
This is the GIF that you posted
Yes. So, man,
with no
Lente-
context. With no context.
Developers Lente or Lenti, they are self-publishing. They kickstarted this in January, got funded in 12 hours. It is a game about driving around on a boat, sucking up oil, sucking up ocean trash, and making your boat better at doing it, and just driving around and doing it. That's all this game is. And
cozy games, man.
Yeah,
super
it looks
cozy
very
game.
cozy.
It honestly, I was addicted to it. Like, I have ADHD and I have OCD. This is a game for me. Like,
It's like
that's,
therapeutic for you.
it really is.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
absolutely 100% is, because the numbers go up, the thing disappears and you could collect animals, which whatever. There's like a rat floating in oil, that you could like collect. I don't know, weird stuff.
just the one.
Just very weird. Yeah, no, it's like a beaver.
You get
No,
to
I know,
watch
it's-
it in Dawn soap, like at those commercials.
Yeah, exactly. Again, solo developer did this
cleaned ducks.
by herself, and just what a great simple idea there's no pressure, there's no timer, and soon, I think like in the next week or so, or maybe next month or so, there's going to be a full graphical update. She redid all the graphics.
Wow,
to, like,
it looks already amazing as it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's great pixel art and all that stuff, but it looks like brighter. There's more colors and like better animations.
This is what happens when you don't spend $20,000 on an hour of a stream. You
stupid
can put that money towards making your game look better.
I do want to back end the fact that with zero context, Steve just put a GIF in our like group chat of a girl living on a houseboat, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what is this?" It's just a GIF of a girl, on a houseboat, and then he was like, "It's the dev for Spilled," and I was like,
"There's some context here.
Where's the context, Steve?"
There was context.
What's the context?
We were talking about Spilled.
Okay,
and then
you just dropped a GIF,
and then I was like, "Wait." Look at this, because it's the most wholesome thing ever. It's like, yay, I made the game. It got funded in 12 hours. Look, this is where I live. This is where I work. And it's like, it's a little dinghy, and it's adorable. And it's a person I want to get on the show, but I don't know how the internet is on the ocean. I don't know.
We'll find out.
I just don't know. Hopefully good.
Is the game like a documentary about her life? That's the kind of vibe I'm getting.
So apparently, according to her bio and her website, or it might have been the Kickstarter, she like was born on a boat. Like she literally has been on a boat her whole life.
That's so cool.
Now she lives on her own boat, and she's like
making games about boats.
Turned it into a dev studio almost. Like you could see it like evolving over time. But like that's like the dream, right? To just be left alone, and
drift around doing exactly what you want to do,
making games on a boat.
Do a thing you want.
I want
to
that
do.
life.
It would be like as if I could podcast with you guys
from a boat,
abandon my family,
and not be bothered by real life. No, not abandon the family, but like bills could be paid, like everything, and just do it. Like just do the like she took the do the thing to a whole new level.
Yeah, and several levels up.
Is doing the thing. Speaking of the thing, because we got to keep going. Die in the dungeon.
Yep. So I think I talked about this game a while ago.
Yes.
As well, but it was a much earlier version. This game is a Slay the Spire style roguelike where you're walking yourself through a dungeon. But as you're walking yourself through a dungeon, instead of building a deck, you're building a dice bag. And each of the dice is colored differently, and it does different things. So it will either heal you if it's green, or purple will like boost other dice slots. And combat takes place on this grid where you place the dice, and you can only place a certain amount of dice at a time. And you're using these boost dice to boost your like health, your shields, your attack, or whatever. And it is just like really addicting and very, very, very fun. Slotting the dice feels great. Getting upgraded dice, like there's dice that do all kinds of different things. Like there's like prismatic dice that will like double enhance stuff, or like glass dice that can only be used once per run or once per combat. It has a lot going for it just being a demo, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they take it with the full version.
Yeah, this game looks like it would be right up my alley. And I have a similar game to talk about, actually, which, again, random things are getting deleted from... Oh, no, it's on the bottom. Never mind. Okay, I was like, where is this game?
Andy, are you just stealth going in and deleting?
No, when he did the whole reformatting, some things went poof into the...
Yeah, it was weird.
Negative
but I want to talk about a similar game that it's another Spire-like, dungeon crawly, but it uses a completely different mechanic, which is hilarious and works somehow. And that's Dungeon Clawler. Clawler.
Guys, the name alone is what did it.
I think the game looks fantastic.
There we go.
That name, man.
No, that name is
Clawler.
gold. Fuck you.
Dungeon Clawler, which the thing keeps freezing for some reason. I do apologize. There we go. Is a deck builder, but instead of building decks, you're building toys or like abilities to claw in the machine. So, and when you pick them up and you put them in the thing, you do those things or you get those things. So like there'll be shields that you can pick up that'll give you armor. There'll be attacks that you attack the enemy, etc., etc. And then you pick your path and you go along. The claw game mechanic is so addicting, and just trying to get like the thing you want to do that round, or like, man, you could see the enemies like stacking attacks, right? And they're about to do like a 50 attack and you have 48 health. You're like, I need shield real bad. You'll go through and you're like, okay, there's 4 shields clumped together. One of them, it gives you +5, so I know I'll be good for the round. But there's also this like laser pointer, which the laser pointer makes my character's cat attack. Whatever, it is what it is. So it's an attack basically. I know it's hard to explain, but and then so the claw came down, and because it kind of hit the wall a little bit, the claw like tilted on its side, scooped around, and then when it came up, it flung all the shields out and only held the laser pointer, and then dropped it. And I was like, oh no, it has the claw machine. Like it has
you have the thing and then it drops the thing.
Yeah, it works. Like all of it works. And the enemies well, they have their attacks and everything, but like you might get a quote unquote power up or like a curse, basically is what I would call them. I don't know. The game is very, very raw. It's like barely has sound. The music it plays loops like every 30 seconds. It's like definitely a ways away, but the core mechanic is there. And like you'll get like they'll be like fluff, like how like those claw machines will have like popcorn or those like
at the bottom
peanuts. Like it'll add some of that, so it'll bring things up, but it also your claw will pick that up instead of items, so it'll like fill your claw with shit that you don't need. Then there's like spikes which do damage to you, so you're trying to avoid those. So I actually did the thing where I used the claw and hit the side of the wall so that it would slide and hit things off that were like stacking to like make the stack smaller, so that because you get two claws, 2 drops per round. So to set it up where like, oh, now my sword is over here, easier to get. I still didn't get it, but it was easier to get, and the claw come down.
That sounds so fun.
It is a lot of fun because you're just like, you're just like, oh, all right, next round, I'll get that sword next round. But yeah, I loved it. Let's talk now about Dawnfolk. I
think this is my favorite game of Next Fest. It is a game that I've played a demo of before. I'm in the playtest for this, so
dope.
Get that out of the way. I've been following this game for probably close to a year now. I'm in the Discord relatively actively. I talk to the guy every so often. I'd love to get him on the show. But so this is a very unique colony sim. It's tile by tile, and you're placing different, like your town, your farms, there's like hunting that you can do, and you're trying to fend off what I believe is just called the darkness. And each little tile has like a mini little game that you play on it. So like if you go into like if you're going to farm and you want to like herd your sheep, or like if you're trying to get berries, there'll be like a little berry basket like at the bottom of the tile, and you're like moving it back and forth, and berries are dropping from the top and you're trying to catch them. Or like there's one where like you're hunting and there's like deer running across, and you have a little bow and arrow that's at the bottom and you're trying to shoot them to get extra meat. And it takes the colony sim and really just like does something entirely unique with it. These mini games and building and unlocking resources and powers and power-ups all feels incredible. The mini games are just like this cherry on top of this already pretty awesome colony sim, and that being the backbone of the game itself just wraps the whole thing up in a really nice bow. This should definitely be on your radar.
It is. It reminds me of Loop Hero.
A little bit, yeah.
Like placing all the tiles and stuff.
It definitely has that kind of a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Next is former guest of Dev Dive.
Next week's
next
guest,
week's
actually.
Well, yeah, I guess future guest, but we did record
future
it.
episode former guest.
Yes, we totally recorded it already, but yes, it'll be out soon. Bloodless, Andy.
Oh my god, you guys! This was one of my favorite games of the show, of the Next Fest demo lineup. You play as a Ronin who doesn't want to kill people anymore.
And you know why, Andy?
Because she's tired of all the killing.
Not only that, but they're her former people.
Correct, yeah, but you know,
doesn't
she don't
want
wanna
to
kill
harm
them.
her former
yeah,
clan.
So she like a pacifist punching?
she is.
Yeah.
She is. But they all want to kill her though.
Oh,
They all got swords and daggers and clubs and hammers. So you confront them with non-lethal combat and through parrying, very Sekiro-like. And it's a slow start
Damn, this looks so
because you can only do a little dash move in the beginning of the game, of the demo. So an enemy will strike you, you do a timed dash, you knock them off their feet, you disarm them, they go scurrying away. But then you learn a thing called a key attack, which is like a Psylocke-esque mind punch that can daze enemies and drain their stamina to set them up for
It's a
dash.
pacifistic punch to the brain.
Right. Correct.
Great
And
punch.
it all just flows very nice together. And then all of this on top of one of the most gorgeous pixel art presentations ever.
Yeah, I love the minimalist.
Super minimalist. It's like you got black and white characters just with little spots of color for like a bandana or like a sword or a cape. And it just works so well. And I was hooked. Like I played this thing like 20 times. It was so addictive.
It looks awesome, man. This looks like something I'm definitely going to play.
And the interview will be up next week on youtube.com/@indieRIFT, where you can check out Dev Dive, where we do interview lots of developers. Lots and lots and lots. Actually, Andy, you had a pretty good one-on-one in this week's episode. That was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good. Negative Atmosphere.
Oh, yes. That's a good show.
What, did the name of the game change? Am I drunk?
So, no. There's
like a different game
Emergency
in the
room?
same universe.
Because they are trying to get funding for the full release of Negative Atmosphere.
That's what that was. Okay. I edited that show, but I had to skip to specific like areas that got a little jumbled to fix it, and I completely missed that. I'm gonna re-listen to the show.
Yeah, after going through like a lot of publishers and a lot of turndowns, they decided to go this route in the interim to like sort of backfill a slot and have a published game in their catalog, because that was their main thing.
Oh well, you don't have a game. We
you
heard
have a
that from
game.
another
We're not going to give you
person.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, we heard that from someone else recently.
Yeah.
Another developer recently. One of the I wonder if the failure of the Dead Space
remake.
and,
yeah, I was thinking that.
And the
Callisto
Protocol. I wonder if that turned people away.
That broke this dev's heart, because he's like, I'm doing this game better than what they're doing.
Yeah.
That was his main thing.
That sucks, man.
It's a good listen.
That does suck.
It's a good listen. It's more about the experience as an indie dev trying to find funding and a publisher than it is about the game itself. So to listen, I think it's good for all.
Well, that
devs.
means it's inside baseball, and quite frankly, I love inside baseball stuff. Like I love diving behind the scenes. We had a little bit of that with who was it? Well, it might have been Bloodless, actually.
Yeah,
I think we had a little bit of that about publishers and all that fun stuff.
Did a whole marketing spiel talk with them at the end there.
That was a good show too. We do good shows. You should all
We
listen.
really
to it.
do.
Yep.
Try.
Stop being jerks. Listen to our shows.
Wow.
You heard me. I ain't afraid of you.
Anyway,
CATO.
Oh my God, CATO. This game Steve brought to my attention because it looks adorable, and there was a demo and I played it. So here's the premise. You're a cat and you're also a slice of buttered toast.
excuse me.
So they have separately two different unique skill sets. The
Okay.
cat can only move side to side and crawl along walls. like a cat tends to do. Can't jump, which is very uncat-like.
Right. This is the fat cat.
It is a fat cat. The buttered toast can flop and wall cling, Mega Man X style, but it can't move in any forward like a walking momentum. It can just flop. It can hop along and cling to walls.
Okay, so now what happens?
Once cat meets toast.
Yes. Tell me about it,
they
please.
break the laws of physics and space-time.
Yes.
And can float and double jump and hover infinitely in our known universe.
I love this game.
So the reason why I thought this was an Andy game is because it's a mind-breaking platform puzzler. And I think that's what Andy loves. Just trying to figure out how to beat the puzzle using a really unique mechanic.
And you control them both simultaneously. So you can like detach from them at will to like, let's say, put the toast in a toaster to charge it up to open the lever that opens a door that the cat's got to go through.
I got to play this game.
There's also like a 3D on rails shooty section or some shit.
Let me tell you, when the last puzzle of the demo, when I finished it, I was walking through a corridor and there's these like cloudy blocks that you have to be detached from the toast to make them like translucent. You can walk through them. It like ghosts them out in a sense. And they become solid once the toast attaches to the cat.
Perfectly reasonable.
I'm standing on this thing. I'm like, okay, I gotta detach to fall through the floor. So I detach and I land on a rail and I'm going like, 60 miles an hour and I'm jumping through spikes and all this shit. And I'm like, what is this game now?
This is what happens when you legalize cannabis. This is what happens.
This is also, I'm letting you guys know, and I'm going to warn Steve in advance. This is a future guest of the show.
Oh, absolutely.
But they don't speak English very well.
That's my favorite show.
They're going to, and I quote, are going to be Chat GPT translating during the show.
Oh my God. This is
going to be wonderful.
I cannot wait to see what Chat GPT comes up with.
This is going to
explain this game.
Cat toast.
So it's either going to be one of our wildest, wackiest interviews ever, or it's going to be like, we're going to make it into a written for the website. But
I am watching both trailers on Steam right now.
It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
This looks so stupidly fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Matt,
Andy, why didn't you tell me?
Go to our Twitter page and look at the tweet for this game that I made.
Yeah.
And the puzzle that I recorded for the tweet. That's the last puzzle of the demo.
Okay.
And you'll see what it all entails.
I like that it turns into a long cat inside the slidey tubes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Love that.
And the toast comes off of you when you're in
next
the
up
tube,
on the list is Crypt Custodian.
Guys, I'm loving the cat games this week.
Weird.
So this is a game.
Do you ever notice that when Andy makes the doc, it's really Andy heavy?
only 4 of these games are mine.
All right.
Only 4 of these games are mine.
I made a lot of the stock this week.
Yeah, this is mostly Steven,
yeah, okay,
dude.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Don't come at me.
Yeah, all right. Cool.
Don't come after my life.
Yeah, sure.
Tell me about the game.
So
a little bit of you hang out with doomed ghosts. It might have
little
said
bit of a warning.
Ghosts. I don't remember
because both of you are cat owners. The game starts with a cat fucking dying.
Oh, good.
So the cat dies.
That's good because I don't have cats anymore.
The cat's hit by a car, it dies.
All dead.
Cat gets sideswiped, killed, goes to the afterlife.
Yeah,
and it's like, and then like this ghost frog person named Kendra is like, I'm gonna judge you now. Here's like the good door on our right. Here's the bad door on our left. You want to avoid that door.
He goes to bad door.
So Kendra's like, oh, let's see. We'll go through your life. And it's got a cute little a little photo snapshot thing. It's like, you had a good family. They loved you. You were an adopted cat. Oh, then you ran away one day. That's sad. Oh, then a car hit you. Oh boy. So far, you deserve to be in the good place. It's all looking good for you so far. Oh, what's this? You picked up a broom on the way here and you broke some of my statues to get here. Fuck you. You are now my janitor for the rest of your existence. to the bad door.
Oh man.
And you're banished to the bad door. And I think the theme is that everyone goes to the bad door in this afterworld. Like every character you come across is like, we all end up here.
They're
at the end
bad
of the
door
day.
coded.
So you have a broom and you can beat enemies to death with it, and
Love
you
it.
can gather garbage.
There are a series of D20s.
And you can trade said garbage for abilities and power-ups, and there's like slots, very like Hollow Knight in its like format. But it's got really fun gameplay, a great soundtrack, and the world is like massive.
Well, so I was just gonna say there's like
huge.
there's a shot of the map in one of the trailers, and it gave me anxiety because of how
it's like a giant
chaotic the map is.
interconnected map.
Yeah, like it's a Metroidvania kind of.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Solo dev also.
I thought when you were listing off all the good things that then it was like, and then you took a shit in your owner's slipper. And that was a problem. And then you kept throwing up on their brand new sheets every time they changed the sheets on the bed.
In the pasta primavera.
Yeah, these are all problems. These are all
Pasta
problems.
Primavera.
Next on our list is Massacre at the Mirage.
Oh,
That is
okay.
Steve.
So let me just preface.
Massacre at the Mirage.
Let me just preface. So
Massacre.
At the Mirage.
can I just say?
Please
there's
say
like there's like this meme of, it's like, I mean, if you're a dog owner, you'll get it. It's like you get up and your dog is like, son of a bitch, I'm in. Like whatever you do, your
Yeah, you
dog
just
is
call-
like,
yeah.
he's on board for
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I feel that's like me for Metroidvanias.
Okay.
Like son of a
That's
bitch, I'm
fair.
in for
Is
any
this-
Metroidvania game.
Is this a Metroidvania?
No. So I had my fill. I played like 60 of them over the past week. I gotta find a different game to play.
What kind of fucking segue is this?
So I checked the horror tab.
I don't want anyone making fun of my segues ever again.
on the Steam Next Fest, and I came across this game.
So you are not the dog.
No, you're not a dog.
No, I'm
You
just saying
are-
in this scenario, you're not the dog who's down for anything.
Correct.
Okay.
You are
Clarify.
Not anymore.
you not anymore. You are an employee of the Mirage Theater, and you're arriving for your shift on Halloween evening, and your boss likes to screen old-timey black and white films. And you're just setting up for the night. You get the garbage, you test the film reel, it's all looking good. You go to the concession stand, you get ready for the night, and then it becomes like a management sim game where you swap between the booth operator and the concession stand lady, and you're ripping tickets, getting money. They're going in, they're giving you orders. It's
So
like,
happy
cool. Yes.
Burger.
And
why can I never say that
Ever.
title?
You just not
Happy's
Humble
Burger
Farm.
good job. Good job.
And
You
for
get
a
a
second,
lollipop.
I was like, oh, is this the game? Because this is not bad. Like, I'm enjoying this. It's not like Overcooked, where it's like a beat the clock, pound the orders faster. There's like a line of angry customers.
Mhm.
It's like, here's your order. You walk over behind you. You get the Mountain Dew. You get the popcorn. You get the pizza. You put it on the serving tray. Ding the bell. You swap to the booth for the ticket guy. It's all very nice and cozy. Then this fucking Art from Terrifier motherfucker rolls up in a truck,
I was gonna say it looks exactly like him, except he has like the
like a jester look,
Yeah.
and he stares you down in his truck, and then he drives off.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, that's a little strange. That's a little weird. Then, more customers come, you do the thing, whatever. And I think there's also a random element to the customers and how they're dressed for Halloween. I saw a guy dressed as Scorpion from Mortal Kombat in one run.
Nice.
And then a guy is in a frog suit. I think it's always changing because I couldn't find Scorpion again after my first initial playthrough.
Maybe it was
I
a
hate that.
hallucination. Were you doing mushrooms again?
It was. And then he comes back, the jester guy, Art the jester guy, and he's trying to buy a ticket for the show. And he makes you a little balloon animal, which he somehow fits underneath a little slot. I don't know how you do that. It's like a 2-inch slot
Does-
where
does it-
tickets go through.
Does it make like the? Does it make like the?
No, it just goes like thump. It just like manifests in the booth. And I was like, okay, that's cute. Like, that's funny, but it's $7 a ticket. And I was like, damn, this is really setting the 87 bucks a ticket. Holy hell. And then after you have a good laugh, like, oh, that's cute, but it's $7. He puts like what looks like a slab of raw meat on the stand.
Mhm.
And then you freak out, and then he goes away. And then the game cuts to you playing as a hobo in the back alley who is searching for food. And that becomes like the first of many like body count. And that's where this whole thing is. You're switching between employees of the theater,
the hobo is
the
employed
people
by the theater?
outside.
Oh, okay.
No, to other people. And it's all this like 80s slasher vibe.
This actually looks really fun.
It's got like that retro, like neon funky soundtrack going on. And it's so good. And this is also a future guest of the show.
Of course it
I'm
is.
very excited about that.
If there's blood and gore,
they'll be here.
They will be on Dev Dive. Don't worry about it.
Correct. And also a fun fact, this dev also made Terror at Oakhart, which is a really cute like 8-bit horror game where you switch between the killer
I want more of that.
And yeah. So a good glow up.
I want
here too.
I want 8-bit horror.
I did sprites. Now I could do a full ass 3D horror game with like some of the cheesiest, hammiest voice acting you'll ever hear.
Pixel Noir. Remember that game?
Oh yeah. That game's really good.
Is it out?
Is it out yet?
Is. Oh yeah.
Okay. I did a
good.
preview of that for Proven Gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Sorry about that, folks, but we are back. And yes, Proven Gamer. Yeah. Pixel Noir. Definitely. You should play that game.
That's a deep cut for us.
You should play that. You should play that video game. You should be playing that video game.
It's like fully released now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, it was fun. Like 10 years ago.
I mean, I could double check.
I'm going to check right now while you continue on.
Double check because we are going to talk about Dice Fold. Let's fold some dice, bro.
Holy shit! It's $25.
Yeah, man.
No way.
Dice Fold. Who put this on here? I want to hear about it.
Not me.
No, it wasn't me. Steven.
Really? It was me?
Stop having like strokes during the show.
Oh, I didn't play this one though. I just put it on because it looked cool. No, I put it on because it looked cool. I thought it would be a Matt game.
Oh my God.
Deck building roguelike where you roll dice and you take the dice rolls to attack the cards. I will play this. I did not play it this week. I do apologize. I thought somebody else put this on there after I put. You know what? Shut up. Okay. You
just said, oh, I put it on here. I thought Matt would like it. You didn't even tell me about this game. You haven't spoken a word about this game.
Matt put it on the top.
Maybe you should shut up. I'm looking out for you.
I appreciate it, but if you could verbally look out for me so I can play the game and put on the top, that would be fucking great.
Matt, you should play Dice Fold.
Thank you, Steve.
Let me know what you think about it because it looks pretty fucking cool.
You know, I'll try for the next week. I'll try.
Shut
Steve.
up.
Keep it on the dock.
Anyway, Ova Magika has a release date.
Did you play this?
No.
I'm gonna put random shit on the dock.
It's gonna be coming out in early access.
And not claim it as my own next week.
Yeah. Just
see what happens.
I'm quoting Steve on this. This game's great.
This game sure is gooder.
No, this game is good though.
No, yeah. Ova Magika, it's like a Stardew Valley like game where you collect creatures, kind of like Pokemon. And it's finally coming to early access. This has been very highly anticipated in the cozy game community, in the sort of life sim community. It's got fishing in it. Very important for the people to know.
Seasons.
It's got JRPG elements a little bit. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's finally coming July 23rd in early access. It's going to be ready for everyone to just go and get their little grubby little mitts on it. And I'm very excited for everyone, including myself, because I'm definitely going to play this game. Andy, how long ago was that interview?
Oh, wow. I want to say maybe 2 years ago.
It's got to be at least 2 years. I feel like
Yeah.
it might be longer.
Because I think I spoke with her a while back, and then I got her on our showcase.
Mm-hmm.
So the interview came well before that, and our
Mm.
showcase is closing in on 2 years at this point, this
Yeah.
September.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Very excited. That game has a huge following,
Mhm.
and well, hopefully, it comes out and it hits the home run. I hope it lands on its promises. It's early access, so I know that there are still going to be features that are not quite ready, but I hope that whatever was promised is executed and people are happy, because it deserves it, and the community that's been following it deserves it. Speaking of deserving it, the Kickstarter of the week, I'm actually going to go to Lone Fungus 2, which we had mentioned prior, but the Kickstarter campaign has been extended.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bad for this dude, because his Twitter is like, he's not like freaking out, but he is like, I think he's in a creative crisis, because it seems like he doesn't believe in his own game because people aren't backing the Kickstarter, which really sucks. And I wish he didn't feel like that, because Kickstarter success obviously guarantees money and guarantees that people are going to play it, or at least have a copy of it. But like, the first game was so good, and this game looks so good, that like, if you hear this, look at this game, back it. The first one was amazing, and this deserves your time, especially if you love Metroidvanias or if you love old school Castlevania. But also, like, just keep going, man. Like, if this Kickstarter doesn't work out, don't abandon this project, because it is awesome. It's beautiful. It deserves time, and like, it's bumming me out to see you bummed out that you think that this is a barometer for how good this game is going to be. That I just keep going, man. It's worth your time.
There are a couple of things to note too. Number one, the goal isn't even that lofty, like, comparatively. It's a $38,000 goal. We're currently sitting at about 19,000. 647 backers. That's a lot of backers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. There's 9 days to go. So as you're listening to this, there's still plenty of time. But one thread that the developer had, Basti, I think is the name, that had on there was like, I want to know why this isn't attractive to people. Yeah. I want to know why people aren't. Can you please tell me? So he that's
the exact thread that I'm talking about, actually.
And was like, tell me what it is. And like, there are some people that are saying, this looks weird, or like there were a couple that stood out to me, because they were actually actual like constructive criticisms.
Yeah. One
was that the character art doesn't match the enemy and background art. Like, it feels out of place, which I think can be off-putting. It could not off-putting as much as it could seem amateur.
I can see that.
Like, if you don't have the knowledge of Lone Fungus 1 and how that character fits into that world, I could see that this could seem like it's amateur, right? Which might be something that you don't want to put your money at. There was another one that I didn't quite agree with, but I didn't agree with at all, actually, but I could see how it could make people not want to back it. And it was simply that people don't associate themselves or see themselves or want to be a mushroom. And I was like,
which is silly, I think.
That's so silly, man.
It's silly, but the fact that one person thought that, like, makes you feel like, how many other people?
But at the same time,
games don't have human protagonists.
No. Wait. At the same time, I saw the art for the original game, and I was like, that thing looks fucking rad. Like, I definitely want to play that. Not only that, but I was like, that's a cool fucking character.
Right.
But like, on the opposite side of that coin is everybody else who played the game that did associate with that character. Yeah.
What I wonder, though, is if not necessarily that that the main character is a mushroom, but the presentation of the character. Like, maybe the fact that the character doesn't have mascotty cute moments that are being shown to us.
Yeah.
Like if this was more chibi or cute or like geared towards, look how cute this little mushroom guy is, and he does like a little happy dance. Like, I wonder if that would attract more people to the character. Like the gameplay is what's king here. And
For sure.
And the character seems very, very secondary, like a far secondary in the presentation. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's like, I don't want to play as this character because I don't care about them.
Yeah. You know what is kind of funny that you say that is that the original art from the first game, in my opinion, as like even though he's kind of talking about this as like an upgrade, I do like the original art for the character more. Some of the background art and stuff and like the enemy design and art for the original one was very simplistic, but like the design of the fungus in the first one was really good. But it's not like it was any less anonymous, I guess maybe is the best way to put it, right? It's just like a little tiny yellow dude with some mushroom. Yeah, featureless is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But that was kind of like the draw for me. I love that kind of stuff. You know, like Wanderer, for example, in Shadow of Colossus, right? He's a nobody. He's just like a dude with a cloak. That's it. That's his whole personality. That's the whole thing. And I'm not trying to compare this to Shadow of Colossus, but I don't know. I feel creatively bad for him.
Yeah.
And not in like a pitiful way, but just in a hopeful way that he gets through this and can drive it home, and that maybe enough people hear this or see him advertising on Twitter and all the people sharing it that he can secure the remaining funds that he needs to at least cover the Kickstarter.
Go there, do that.
Do that.
We do have some mailbag questions, which I definitely want to get to. So let's dive right into that, and that's as our final segment of the show. You could write in to us and get your mailbag questions read by joining our Patreon for as little as $1 hair. Patreon.com/indieRIFT. You get it and just right into the mailbag channel and you'll get in. Sonny Rads asks, were there any games of note you didn't get to that you intend to keep an eye on? And in that vein, I believe no, there was, I took that part out just because it was redundant, but yeah, like a million.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
One that I'm going to note that I'm going to bring next week is a game called The King is Watching, and it is a hybrid city builder / tower defense game where the units that produce things for you only are productive when you have a cursor over them. And it looks like a very interesting gameplay mechanic.
That is cool.
I'm going to have thoughts about that next week.
That seems like hell.
I'm gonna highlight one awesome as well that Matt actually brought to my attention. That's Odinfall.
Dude,
yes,
it's a Viking roguelike bullet hell.
Yeah,
that has a soundtrack that's gonna melt your fucking face off.
Yeah, very fun. And then they have like a weird like Mario 3 style overworld. Fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a million.
There's too many.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Way too many. But the answer is yes.
Yeah, I can't even like. I don't even want to go down that road because I purposefully curated the list. Well, I already told you which ones I didn't get to play that I thought I was going to. So those I will visit. Absolutely. But to kind of go hand in hand with this, Farmer Pete asks, was Crystalla included in all of at all in the Next Fest? I got the notice recently that is available in early access now. Have you dove into that at all yet to see how it is? No, I have not. I definitely will. I forgot that was actually coming out in early access, and probably because of the hellscape that was this last 3 weeks of just indie game barrage. And I played the updated demo from about a month ago, and we spoke about that on the show as well. So yeah, I definitely will. Andy, did you play the updated one?
I haven't. Like hearing to you talk about that last time, I kind of soured a little bit on it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But I'm hoping that
Again, early access is there for a reason,
Yeah.
right? To make it better and add more polish and to address all the issues and shortcomings.
What I do wonder is I have access to the Crystalla playtest on Steam, and I wonder if that is going to be also include all the early access stuff, because on the updates, it's only the May 21st update that has a sneak peek of the early access. So I don't know what of that I have access to, because that was given to me by the developers. So I'm not sure. Maybe we'll reach out and see what happens. Buzz Killington asks, please stop highlighting it a million times. It really screws up my reading.
I have a hard time. I'm having a hard time. I'll just throw it up here.
Buzz Killington asks, the Rogue Prince of Persia game came out recently in early access.
Oh my god, Andy.
New game from the Dead Cells devs. What would be your pitch for a AAA IP to be made by an indie dev? We have had this many times on Dev Dive and the Dual Screens podcast, where we've asked this question and also answered it ourselves, but I'm interested to see what everyone thinks now. I'll go weird with this one. An Annapurna game in the Star Fox universe. It would be like an artsy side story mission where you play as the different characters, just off doing some regular random tasks for people and building your team's relationship up before the next mainline adventure happens. That'd be cool. That'd be really nice. Some more character development instead of just hearing barrel roll.
I want a Terrifier game made by Ed McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
I hate how much I love that idea.
Doesn't that just make a lot of sense?
It makes insanely.
You play as Art.
Sense.
You play as Art. You're Art the Clown trying to murder it's your last night alive. You're finally gonna die, right? Because he keeps being reborn. And for his last bash, he wants to kill as many people as possible. And it's a horde survival game.
Have you seen the teaser for the third movie yet?
Yes, it looks. I'm so excited.
It's like set on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or some shit.
Yeah, it's coming out in December.
I love it so much. What a gift.
Yeah, so that's my pitch. That's my pitch. I don't think I would call that a AAA IP. Actually, I think I went completely against the grain of this question entirely, and I just picked a thing I like and another guy I like and put them together. But yeah, that's my answer.
It's funny. I was thinking about this question when that Way Forward news broke. And I was like, they should do either an original Clock Tower game or maybe even revive the Castlevania franchise, because they did a really good Contra game, Way Forward, recently. And I think they understand why those games worked so well back in the day. And having them do like an 8-bit or even a 16-bit revival of Castlevania, I think they'd be the ones to do that, because they know the mechanics, they know sound design, they know art, and they get like the soul of those kinds of games. But now I'm like, what horror game was you making, guys? Because they've never done one before that's original. So, I mean, re-releasing a game that's decades old with a fresh coat of paint and some new features and some anime opening cutscenes is one thing. But doing your own thing with an established IP is another. So I'm going to just make that my answer and Way Forward doing a horror game, which is not a thing they do typically from a genre perspective. So I like it when someone kind of goes out of their comfort zone a little bit, and we'll see how they do horror, and I'm really excited about that.
Can I go back, because I didn't answer the question at all? I just picked two things that I like.
But that was still a good answer.
I know.
AAA IP, yeah.
Go ahead, Matthew. Go ahead.
Digital Sun makes a God of War game, like Mage Seeker.
That's an answer.
Steve.
So a AAA IP, I have an IP that has had AAA games of it, but like has also had low budget games and AA games and like whatever. It's a massive IP, but I really want. See, it's tough. I would like to see TMNT, like just that. AAA, it's not a game IP, but it has so many games. I would like Tribute Games to make a TMNT side scroller game like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Or like the Game Boy games, yeah, like a single player adventure game,
like a single player adventure game. But I like the idea of it being in that TMNT 1 style,
because switching off turtles as you're playing.
Because like Panzer Paladin could, I mean, that whole concept could be a great Turtles game.
Can I just say, Steve and Matt, that game just came out on PS5 and Xbox.
Really?
Did you know this?
Panzer Paladin?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Like just the other day, they announced. I was like, "This wasn't out on these systems already? It's been years.
That's crazy.
Like 3 years since this game came out on Switch and PC.
What
took it so long?
Almost 4 years exactly. It's 3 years.
What took it so long to get there? I was shocked.
Yeah,
no idea.
But yeah, Panzer Paladin's a great game, and I think Tribute does just phenomenal work. And we know they have TMNT. So they did Shredder's Revenge, but I want them to take that IP and I want them to make a single player adventure game.
It's funny how like this question was the question is, it's like being answered weirdly by itself by the industry. Like we saw Mega Cat Studios is doing a FNAF game. That's wild to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yes. Colton, the apprentice Nestler, asks, do you see peripheral based rhythm making a comeback if there was an indie passion project?
Well, I'll answer this.
I just missed EDR.
I don't think so, but also there is a really, really lively Guitar Hero community on PC that there's a game called Peripheral Hero, I think is what it's called, and it's just people who love Guitar Hero continuing to make songs in the Guitar Hero format. I think that now in the industry that we're in, like where the industry's at, that kind of an investment, that kind of hardware investment in molds is just not gonna happen.
It's too expensive.
My answer is I don't want it to.
Oh man. I love Guitar Hero, man.
I was a part of that wave when I was younger, and at one point I want to say late last year, when my mom's garage flooded and I was like digging out stuff, I came across boxes of what is now useless hunks of plastic instruments, like boxes of drum kits and guitars and DDR mats, and I don't want to go back there again. I just don't.
It's
like,
too much
yes,
stuff.
Colton, I miss these franchises. I miss the gameplay. But it's just, I don't want it anymore.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna revise my answer slightly.
Okay.
Do I think that we're gonna go back there in the same vein? I don't. I don't think, like I said, I don't think that video game manufacturers like Harmonix or Activision are going to get back into manufacturing toy hardware, basically. But a space where this actually is kind of alive that isn't the space I was talking about is VR. There are plenty of rhythm games happening in the VR space right now. Pistol Whip, Ragnarok, Beat Saber, all of these games, and they are kind of doing that indie side of the rhythm game development, and that is where this is well alive. I also bet that if he tried hard enough, he could find the Guitar Peripheral Hero equivalent of DDR somewhere on a PC message board.
Yeah, you gotta look for that stuff. There's communities for that live somewhere, and totally. Like I mean, I like to sing on those games. Like I don't really like to do the guitar and the drums or whatever. But now you could just like do karaoke. Like YouTube has like 1 million karaoke like songs that some people just rip the actual vocals out of the game, out of the song, and you can just sing,
and just
like
do it. Yeah,
the normal song. So that's what I do. And that's gonna bring us to the end of this marathon, a nearly 2 hour long show, hour and 45 minutes. It looks like we're gonna be at, depending on how long the little snafu was in the beginning there, or not in the beginning, in a few minutes ago. But this has been a great show. Thank you for listening this long, and thank you, Andy and Matt, for being able to pay attention this long and to have a lot of things to play and to talk about. That's what makes this great. And if you want to support us, again, go to patreon.com/indieRIFT. It helps us out tremendously. Or you could just go to our website and you could click on the store and you could buy merch. You could buy indieRIFT merch. You could get a shirt that has the indieRIFT podcast on it. You can tell all your friends, look, this podcast is cool. I'm wearing the cool gray shirt. Or
once I figure out how the back end works, there'll be a couple more designs up there shortly sometime.
Yeah, once Matt figures out how to just drag and drop his artwork onto a t-shirt.
I did that, but it's not on the right store.
That's weird. It's all it's the same store. You
It's
gotta
not.
clear your cache. Things are being weird on your computer.
Sheesh. Anyway.
Sheesh to you. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Matt. And as always, please be excellent to each other.